Hello, everybody. Um, the last time I give you the video about the exile that I went to the exile, and I didn't want to make new teachings or new religion or new things. And the main reason for all this that you learn in life not to program things. And as a awakened person down the road, you will begin to understand that the exile is actually the exit from this programming. But to understand where that comes from, the part of this spirituality awakening, which is those serious they're gonna be, is first of all you begin to live a life in an ego. You begin to live this part of more of the typical physical life. You go to work, you make money, and you have some living, and everything else doesn't exist. Some of the examples, those are the people who have a career and they're ready to run everybody else over in order to um, reach their goal in their career, despite everything they know about it. But there is gonna be a this time when you begin to awaken. That's the part of your evolution. That is the part of you. What's going on? Does that happen to everybody? The answer is no. Not everybody is coming for awakening. Some people they're not gonna be worried about awakening. It's not their time. It's not their destiny. They have not evolved too much as a soul, even to become an awakened. For them, some of the things they will never apply. They can be atheist as much as they want to of it. Um, those serious about that I want to do is mostly about sharing, not teaching, sharing the experiences. You're gonna be learning down the path. What did that mean? When you something happen in your life, you look at it. What's the reason that it's happening into, and this is how you get touch with your soul, and this is how you go back to this spirituality level, spirituality world inside of you. Another part after this that comes in is your life gets better, and then you go back into the physical world and you're trying again to make the same thing. But the lesson repeats itself. And when the lesson repeats itself, then you don't learn it. You have to go back to the spirituality. And you begin to these magical circles over and over and over again into then you evolve and you begin to do things that you never done before. You begin to understand the things that you never understand before. And sometimes on that path, for a lot of the people, some they become very spiritual awakened. They become spiritual teachers. They begin to open up a new age or something that it's involved with teaching. And a lot of the people who are in this spirituality, they begin to do something with it, and they get stuck on that part of the teachings. They like to go ahead and be the teacher, like the attentions to be the teacher, probably with those teachings or those workshops or uh, classes or whatever the situation might be. They begin to make an income. Some of those people they stay on that level for a very long time, and they don't pay attention of their evolution. When they don't pay attention of their evolution, they stuck in that level as a spiritual teachers, and they stay there. The exile will help you to disconnect from this part of teaching, this part of programming. Pretty much most of the spiritual leaders, if you look at it an ages back, you can go ahead and look at it. Everyone tried to create something new. Take a look, for example, the White Brotherhood. Take a look at it, the I Am movement. Take a look at it, the Course of Miracles. See, those are the things that creates new teachings, new parts. But the worst part that it's been done into is that those teachings, they begin to create separations. They begin to create this part of, this is the right path and this is the wrong path, and you create dualities. And when you create the dualities, you begin to be like all the religions. There is a different religions, and we begin to separate. We all have souls. Doesn't matter what religions you're taking on it. We all have things to do. And the exile, reaching you that illumination of state, and the soul that you stop wanted you to be programmed from others, but at the same time you begin to illuminate yourself as a teacher that you should not programming others as well. And that is illumination will help you on your soul journey. To all my friends which is there within the Twin Flame community, that is your part as a Twin Flame illumination. You to finally understand you can control your Twin Flame. You can control your path with your Twin Flame. You can't go and do the things, anything with your Twin Flame, because you're trying to control them. You're trying to control the love. You're trying to control the outcome of the relationship with the Twin Flame. And your illumination will be that you can control them. But you're also going to be that part of illuminating yourself, that by you controlling the way of spirituality you go to, they say they can probably try to control everything with different ways. Maybe silence, maybe something that they need to work on to it. So the control exists on both two sides. When you stop to have no control, you allow the control to be made by the destiny. You don't control anything anymore. You don't have the desire you to control anything or steer anything. You begin to understand one part. The ego search for informations because the ego is a copycat. What I mean by ego is a copycat, the ego goes and copy programs of people. They've done something, do something, and you take that program and you're applying into it, because the ego wants to have everything within no time. The ego wants to have everything now, at this moment, at this second. A lot of the people within the Twin Flames, they want to have everything with their Twin Flame without understanding what that is. Twin Flame is not a movement, is not a teaching. Twin Flame is real understanding on the path of love. Because the soul is not like the ego. See, the ego, it's a copycat. The soul is an understanding about the path of the soul. And when you understand this part, when you illuminate yourself with this, you're gonna be stop resonating with a lot of the things. You're gonna be that exile. Actually, you exiting this three-dimensional things inside of you. You're gonna be cutting all the connections you have. It was hard for me to cut everybody in my life, but I had to do it. and at some point you as a spiritual guide, a spiritual teacher, at some point you as a um, whatever you want to title yourself into, when the time comes in, the soul's gonna tell you it's time for you to cut it off everybody. It's time for you to evolve. It's time for you to get in. And this is the time that once I did that, I was in exile for about 3 months, maybe. Um, you begin to evolve within yourself. You get in yourself within the darkness, and the more you're in the darkness, you have the broader picture of the light. For example, take a look at it, our solar system. If you are having a view from the Earth, just to look at a Jupiter, or you don't have the full view of how beautiful the universe is. But if you step in all the way back and go and look more broader picture out there, and you see all the clouds, you see the Pleiades, you see different constellations. You see that the world is completely different. And this is why when you have a spiritual awakening, you always go into the darkness. You always go to the darkness. So when you're in the darkness, you have a better view of the light. And this is why a lot of the people, they go through the dark night of the soul. Simply because the darkness, it's removed, and it's you showing you the view of the light. But you have to be put in the darkness. And this is why when you evolve, you're gonna be going through this dark light movement into, and you will be having those parts. And as awakening person, you're gonna be learning these things on your own, as nobody else has to create a program for you. This part of understanding will be mostly as a guidance, not as a teaching. Because inside of you, you have individual journey for yourself. You have a journey that you need to go, you need to follow, you need to be into it. My journey so far, it leads me to Bilbao, Spain. I will be going in Spain in the next month, which is about 3 weeks from now. And I will make a video how everything line up for me to go to Bilbao, which is very funny. And you have to listen your soul. Your soul is a connection to the universe. And when you become awakened, some of you get awakened on a very little personal stage, but when you get awakened from your twin flame, you're gonna be awakened to three things. First of all, you're gonna be awakening your soul. The soul, it's gonna be go ahead and connect you directly, like you are hooked up to the internet. It's gonna hook you up to the universal knowledge, and all of a sudden you're gonna begin to learn and know things. You just know things, like all of a sudden you know them. It's gonna awaken your DNA. What I'm talking about, the awakening of the DNA, inside of you there is a knowledge and information of what you need to do as far as a earth part. And that awakening, it's actually is gonna help you to your body to be able to handle the vibrations. You're not gonna be acting in emotions, you're gonna be acting with vibrations. The vibes are like you sending a vibe to someone and the vibe come back. You already know what that person feels like, or that person, what is the problem is. You basically become psychic of it. And that is the part that some of you is going to be getting freaked out when you get awakened into. And the third part, it's more important. The third part, that it's the part of the awakening of the soul, love inside of you. That love, it's the one that is gonna be unite all the parts. It's gonna put everything back together. But when you put them back together, it has to be removed the stuff. They don't work. And that is the part of the destructions of your old life. Because once you begin awakening, you have a new life. And you need to understand your new life is going to cost you the old life. Doesn't matter how painful it is, doesn't matter how things it is, that path of soul evolution is always have the same characteristics. The main characteristics of this is that when you disconnect from the 3D, you're gonna lose that connection with all your friends, everybody. You're gonna lose that part. It's basically like you die and everybody's missing you and everybody's like, what happened? Ooh. No, it's the part that you disconnect from that way of life. You begin to a next stage. You begin to evolve on different positions. For example, I don't resonate for a lot of the people that I used to resonate with. I crossed that path. You crossed that road. I crossed that line during the exile. And this is why I want to tell you that if you feel like it and your soul is telling you, you need to go in exile. Go out, zip everybody, but also you're gonna zip you to tell everybody how they should live. Even though that there is some people who are with a spiritual knowledge and information, they will be trying to tell you how you should live your life as a spirituality. As a spirituality, as awakening, you need to listen one thing, and that one thing is your soul. Your soul has the connections between you and the universe, between you and what's in your DNA, and between you and what you have as a soul love. This is what you need to follow. Everything else, the soul will give it to you. Where you need to go, how you need to go, and so on and so on and so on. I hope that video will help you out. I hope you understand that exile, it's a part of your illumination. Exile is something that you evolve into it. And I hope you understand that whatever I've had to do, I had to do it because I had to do it. It was my soul path. It's my soul evolution of doing it. And thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you understand everything. And whatever I need to do, I'm going to tell you the one thing: be love.